Welcome back to BaldHeaded Metal, guys, and welcome back to another review. And this time around, it's for Revocation's new album, Netherheaven. It's a technical death metal band coming out of Boston, Massachusetts. And their new album, I got to check out as a new fan. I want to give a little background. I discovered this band maybe a while back, maybe 10 years ago, but I've never sat down to really listen to them. It's just a name you know that exists, but you never got around to checking out. And then recently, I checked out their previous album, The Outer Ones, and I was like, holy fuck, is this good? And I couldn't believe I never sat down to listen to this band. So coming into this album and doing a reaction to Diabolical Majesty, I was already excited to hear that it's going to be something special. And boy, I wasn't wrong. I think it's even better than the Outer Ones in every aspect. I think the songwriting from this band in general is just very mature, intelligent, and grown. It is masters of their craft. It's technical death metal at its best. I thought about like Death's Symbolic. I thought about Nile's Annihilation of the Wicked. I thought about Aborted, especially the new album that I reviewed in the past, Mania Cult. It's just top shelf technical death metal. The songs are varied. The solos are beautiful and technical. There is a lot going on. Every song is different. I can't even point to one song and tell you that it was the thing that really blew me away. It's just from the beginning to the end, it was like on one breath I had this whole experience listening to it. And that's how I kind of interpret music on a more emotional level. Does it make you feel something? And this did. It didn't immediately wow me. I didn't get this effect like, whoa, like like you get that kind of blown away face. But the more I listened to this album, the more I repeated the songs, you start going, holy shit. This is really freaking... I got goosebumps listening to it actually the first time, and I really love this kind of stuff. I feel like this album is made for somebody who's really into the genre of heavy metal, and specifically the more extreme side of it, something like death metal, because it's not immediately catchy, it's not easily digestible, it's not popcorn, and I don't mean that as a bad thing. You need popcorn flicks, right? And you need your more serious dramas. They both have their place in the cinemas, right? So the same thing with this music. I think this belongs in rock and heavy metal as much as AC/DC belongs in that more simplistic style that they create, right? So here, there's just like, again, Symbolic is a perfect example. Sound of Perseverance from Death. There's just a lot of layers to the music that makes you want to come back to it multiple times over and to see all the layering that's happening in the music and the thought behind and the process and the moods that it kind of creates. I think there were very powerful ways of kind of capturing your attention as the time went on with multiple listens for me. I've really enjoyed this particular album, and I can say I've become a fan of Revocation, almost like kicking myself that I haven't gotten to the band a little bit earlier than I have here, but now I've got like 6, 7, if not more albums to check out from this band to see what they're all about, going back into the discography usually as I do. For fans of this band, it seems like what I've heard from the past 2 albums, you're basically getting the more of the same, but when more of the same is this good, it's sort of like I remember when Nile released Those Whom the Gods Detest. It was a natural progression from Annihilation of the Wicked and Aethephiliac and all these other albums. It was just one of those things that it was a natural progression. It wasn't that much different from what they were doing, but it was an evolution of the music, and it just kept getting better and better and better. And that's what it sounds like here. It just sounds like masters of their craft, just getting better and better and better and growing as a band and just only spreading their wings more and more and more, and which is really nice to see. I would love to hear actually from the fans as well, kind of what were your opinions on this album when you finally got to check it out yourself, coming out this Friday, but also the kind of the general consensus about this band and how you personally feel about it. I feel like genres nowadays in heavy metal are very, very blended. There's people are trying to pull in so many different elements from so many different areas that I think something that's like this, I'd say, is a pure technical death metal band album. It has this beauty to it and a simplicity to it while having all the complex in the songwriting department as well. It just has this kind of beautiful mix of like, this does sound old school, but it does sound modern, and it is technical and diverse, but at the same time, there's a certain simplicity to there's a beauty in the simplicity of like, we're just doing this death metal sound that a lot of us grew up with in the 90s and 2000s. So I'm going to leave it on that kind of note. I want to leave the door open for the fans and kind of how you feel about it yourselves, whether you liked it and how you compare it to the older albums. Perhaps you can even suggest for me, what do I go from the outer ones and now Netherheaven? What's the next album I should go to? And guys, make sure you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe out there, and most of all, keep it metal.